Hello everyone, welcome back. To understand a concept in programming, the best way to do that is implement it or use it in fixing the real life problems. So today what we will do, we will see 10 different problems and we'll try to solve them using Stream API. These 10 problems are important from the interview perspective as well because nowadays Stream API coding questions are being asked in interview very frequently. So if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and don't forget to leave a like and comment. As we have already covered the theoretical part and covered all the important methods or functions which are available in Stream API, now let's use them in practice as well. So let's try to solve our first question. First question is write a program to print 5 random numbers using forEach in Java 8. This is a very basic question. So to generate 5 random numbers, we will use the random class which is already there in java.util package. Let's create an object for that random class. New random. So we will make use of this object for generating the 5 random numbers. Now if you see random dot ints, so here you can see the random is having 4 different methods using which we can generate integer stream. So first one is without any arguments, it will generate all the random numbers and an infinite stream. That is not required because we only need 5 random numbers. Second one is with one argument where we can define the stream size. So this we can use, but it will generate the numbers of any range. The third one is taking 2 arguments, which is regarding range only. We can specify a range under which we want to generate the random numbers from. And the third one is where we can specify 3 different arguments. One is for size and the other 2 are for range. So let's try to use that. So the first one is the number of elements, that is 5. And let's try to generate from 1 to 10 5 random numbers. So why I have mentioned 11 here, because the ending index is not inclusive. That means if I mention 11 here, it will only go till 10. Okay, so it will generate an int stream. Now as it's already a stream, we can apply stream methods to it. So let's try to add for each method. So how we can print? So we have already seen there are 2 ways to print using for each. So the first one is using lambda expression. So how we can do, we know it's an I, and we can do system dot out dot println I. So in this way we'll be able to do. Let's try to execute this program and then we will cover the second way as well. So here you can see 675353, these 5 random numbers are generated. So now let's see the other way to generate or to print the numbers using for each. Let me just copy this one. Now with this, instead of lambda expression, I can use method reference as well. So this will make the code more clean. Let's see, system dot out colon println. So if you are not aware about the method reference, how we have to use it, please go ahead and check out my video. It's there in the playlist for Java 8. So this particular statement is equivalent to this lambda expression. So if I run it here, so for that let me just try to add one separator here so that we can identify which 5 numbers are from which statement. Let me execute, and here you can see we are able to see similar output using the method reference as well. So in the interview you can mention that these both techniques can be used to print the values. Now let's move to the problem number 2, which is write a program to print 5 random numbers in sorted order using for each. So in this we will be making use of the same random object and the similar approach that we have used in the first program. So let me just copy the code from there. So here, if you see, here we are not concerned with the order as of now because it will be randomly generating a number and printing it out. But if we want to sort it, then there is a method sorted which is available. So let me just show you how we can do. So once we get the stream from random.ints, we can apply sorted method on that. So after that, what it will do, it will sort them in the natural order and then fed it to for each method. So now what all numbers it will be printing, those will be in the sorted manner. Let's execute it. So here you can see 4, 6, 7, 7, 10. Let's try to execute it once again to see the behavior. You can see 1, 2, 7, 8. So all these numbers are in sorted format. Now let's move to the third problem. Third problem is write a Java 8 program to get the sum of all the numbers present in a list. So here we have this list which contains only numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to get sum of this number. Okay, so let's try to use stream API to achieve that. So we have got the stream out of list using list.stream, and after that we need to map to int because we want an int stream, because dot sum method is available but that can be applied only to int stream. So let's try to do map to int. Here we don't need to do anything, we are just mapping every element I to int only, and after that we can use sum method. Okay, so this will result into sum of all the elements. So here I think we are having sum as 15, so let's try to print it as well. Okay, let me build and run the program. So here you can see 15 is printed. So here exactly what we have done, we have taken the list, obtained a stream out of it, then mapped each element to int so that it can be converted to an int stream, and after that we have used sum method on top of that. So what this sum does, it will take all the elements and add them together and print the resultant sum. Now let's move to the fourth problem. Fourth problem is a little tricky one where we will be using more operations. So here we need to square the list of numbers and then filter out the numbers greater than 10 and then find the average of filtered number. So here we have this list. What we need to do, we need to square the list of numbers. So here we will be using map to int again. So let's try to obtain stream out of this list. And after that we need to do square of these numbers. So let's again use map to int. So here in the lambda expression, what we want to do, we want I is to be mapped to I into I. So what it will do, it will square the numbers. After that we need to filter out the numbers greater than 10. So now whatever square is greater than 10, that we need to filter out. So let's filter out square. So square, if square is greater than 10, only those results we want to filter out. So once that is done, we want to find the average. So there is already a function available for that average, and it returns optional double. Okay, so to get the actual value, let me do get double, get as double. Okay, so now this particular line will result average of squares whose value is greater than 10. So let me just print it out as well using system.out.println. So what we are expecting, we can see square of 5 and 4, only that will be greater than 10 because square of 3 is 9. So we are expecting 16 plus 25 divided by 2. Now let's see, execute the program and see, it will be around 20.5. Yeah, so here we can see our Stream API pipeline is working as expected. So if this is clear, if you have any doubt, please do comment. Otherwise, I'll move to the next problem. So the next problem is find the lowest and highest number of a group using Java 8. So here we will be using few comparison techniques here, and we'll be using .max and .min method that we have already discussed in our previous videos. So first step, obtain the stream out of it. Then for maximum number, you can see it it accepts a comparator. So let's give it a comparator dot comparing. So here what we are going to use, as it's an integer, we are going to use a value of function of integer. So integer colon colon value of. So what it will do, it will compare all the values and it will return whatever is the maximum value available in that particular list. Okay, so because we need to print that out as well, let's use it in a sysO statement. So let me just execute and see if we are getting the maximum result. So yes, one more thing, it will return an optional integer. So to get the exact integer, let's use get method here. So now if I execute, it will return only 5. Okay, so in similar way, same comparator will be used, but we want to print the minimum number. So for that, we already have a similar method which is min. So there will not be any more change. I just need to change the method name from max to min, and it will print 1. So here you can see it is able to print both maximum and minimum value. Now let's move to the next problem. Now we need to find the number of strings in a list whose length is greater than 4. So this is a list available with us where we have 5 different elements of different lengths. Now let's, as a first step, again, let's try to get a stream. And now we need to filter out. So let's use filter function here. Now we have string. We need to write the lambda expression implementation where we will be comparing the length of the string, and uh, we'll only return the strings which are having length more than 4. So how we can do that? Str.length, that's the string function, if it is greater than 4. That is what requirement is, right? So now once this filter is done, we will get these last 3 strings because these are the only strings having length more than 4. So now let's again use for each method. So in this I will again use method reference println. So what it will do, it will print all the strings which are having length greater than 4. Let's execute it. So here you can see 3 different strings are printed, which are third, fourth, and fifth. So the question was, we need to find the number of strings. So how we can get the count? So let me just keep this statement as it is, and I will copy till the filter point. So now till this point, we have all the strings which are having size greater than 4. Now how I can get the count? So for that, there is a method count. Okay. So as it will return a long, so I need to add it into a sysO statement so that I can print it. So if I execute it, I will get 3 as an output. Now let's move to the next problem. Next is how to concatenate two streams. So suppose you have two streams, how you can concatenate it to a single stream. So let's create that stream itself. So we want to have stream of integer. Let's name it as combined stream. And what we want to do, we want to combine these two streams which we will be getting from list 1 and list 2. So let's do that. Stream.concatenate. There is a method stream.concatenate, and it requires two arguments which are of type stream. So let's get stream out of list 1 and stream out of list 2 as well. So till this point we have concatenated and we got a stream out of it. Okay. And after that, using this combined stream, we'll be able to see that all those elements which were there in list 1 and list 2 are now part of combined stream. So let's try to use it. So combined stream dot for each. What I'll do, I'll just print the elements out of it. Okay, let me just execute. So what I'm expecting as of now is from the combined stream, I should be able to access 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 elements should be printed. So here you can see all the elements are printed. Now let's see next problem. Now we need to remove the duplicate elements from a list. So at times in the work as well, we have this kind of requirements like where we have a number of duplicate elements which are available in list and we want to remove them. We want to make the list unique. So there are a couple of ways doing that. We can make use of a hash set as well. We can apply stream to this specific list and then try to store these elements in a hash list, or we can collect it to a hash set, sorry. We can collect to a hash set. The second one, very simple one, is there is a distinct method which is already available in Stream API. So let's try to make use of that. So let's get a stream out of this list, and after that simple distincts. So if here you can see it will result into a stream of integers. Okay. So now we have the stream of integer. Let's try to collect it to a list. So collect method we have already used. Collectors dot to list method is there. So now it will result into a list of distinct element out of this list. So let me define another list object here. Let me name it as list2. So what we will do, I'll just print the list2 so that we'll be able to see that it only contains the distinct elements. So before that, let me just explain what we have done. we got the stream from list. After that, we applied a distinct function. This distinct function, what it does, it will remove, or it will only provide the distinct element out of the list or the stream that we are providing. And after that, what we are doing, we are collecting all those distinct elements to list using this collect collectors dot to list and storing it into list2. And in the end, we are printing the list2 as well. So let me just run this program. So here you can see 1, 2, 5, 4, 6, 3. All these are the distinct elements from list. Now let's move to the next problem. Now we need to find out all the even numbers in list using stream function. Here I will demonstrate one more interface that we have discussed in our previous video, which is int stream. So here I am not using any list object. Here you can see what we will do. We will generate the stream using int stream. Let's see how we can do that. We just need to write int stream, it's an interface, and after that we need to define the range. So here you can see in the range we can provide start and end is exclusive. In the documentation as well you can see it that end is exclusive. So if we want a range of int stream from 1 to 10, we need to specify 1 and 11 as arguments. Now we have stream of 1 to 10, and now we want to find out only the even numbers out of it. So how we can do, we can make use of filter method again. So in filter, we need to write a lambda expression I, where I percentage 2 is equal to 0. So what it will do, it will check if the number is divisible by 2 or not. And after that, we need to apply for each so that we can print those numbers. So what we are doing exactly here, using the int stream interface, we are using its range method and trying to generate a stream of integers which is starting with 1 and ending with 10. So 1 to 10 stream will be generated. After that, what we are doing, we are using filter method and filtering only those ones which are divisible by 2. That means whatever are the even numbers, those are filtered here. And after that, we are printing all those even numbers. So now let's try to execute and see the output. So here you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All the even numbers are printed. So here, if we want to print the odd numbers as well, instead of equal to, we can say not equal to. So it should result into 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now let's move to the last problem for today. The last one is find the duplicate elements. So if you remember, we have already removed the duplicate elements. So this one is a very important question and is being asked in various interviews. So we need to identify which elements are actually the duplicate elements. So how we can do that? Let's get stream from this particular list as well. And after that, what we want to do, we will use filter here. So in the filter, we need one another object as well for hash set. So let's try to create that as well. So what we need, set of integer, let's name it set, and we will use the hash set implementation of this. And after that, in the filter, what we will do, we will try to add an element to this set, and we will only filter out those which we are unable to add. So what that means, if one is added, after that, if you see the third element is again 1, and if we try to add 1 again to this set, that operation will result into false. So those kind of elements we can filter out and print. So let me just implement it so that it will be clear. So in this lambda expression, what we want to do, set dot add. So here you can read the documentation here as well. So it returns false if we are trying to add a duplicate element. So you can read this documentation from here as well. So let's try to add this particular element. So what it will do, it will try to add, and if we go ahead with this code and try to print the elements, then we will be able to see the distinct elements only. This particular operation will remove the duplicate elements. Let me show you how. Let me just print the value. Okay. Now, if I print the value, we will be able to see the distinct element. It will act same as we have done in this distinct function. Let me just execute so that it will be clear. So here you can see these are the distinct elements. But what do we need? We need 1 and 4 because these are the duplicate elements. So how we can do that? Instead of filtering the elements which are getting added, we need to apply a not operation here. That means all the elements which we are unable to add to the set, those elements we need, because those are the elements which are duplicate. So let me just save it and run again. So here you can see we are able to see 1 and 4. So if I try to add 3 as well in the list, so 3 will also be added in this particular output. So these were a few important questions from the interview perspective as well as from the learning of Stream API. So it is always better, if you want to learn some concept, let's try to use that in practice using by solving the real life problems. So that is it for this video. If you like, please do like, share and subscribe. And in case of any suggestions, please do comment. We will cover few more advanced problems and interview questions from the Stream API in our upcoming videos. So till then, keep learning. Thanks for watching.